Magandang araw sa inyong lahat.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening po sa lahat ng nakikinig po.
Hello to all our viewers from here and around the world.
Napakaganda ng ating talentayman ngayong hapon ito.
Isang mainit na pagbati po sa inyong lahat.
Well, friends,
welcome to the Bridges Show.
I'm very happy to be here, and I think it should be a really interesting and fun topic.
But there are things you want to learn. So I wanna take it from there and then I listen to them.
Meron sila mga mitiin upang maging makabuluhan pa ang pagiging Katoliko. Lalong-lalo na sa susunod na henerasyon.
Sa akin po, sa mga kabataan, use competence as a basis.
In real life, hindi naman talaga tayo tumitigil sa buhay. Kailangan talaga tuloy lang ang buhay kahit anong challenges natin.
Palawan, Cebu, Baguio City, Atty. Dwight, pati La Union. So we are saying that revenge travel is real.
Mas kailangan natin na i-share ang hiwaga ng sining sa mga tao.
Food and health should go hand in hand. So yan ang gusto namin paratingin sa gobyerno.
So if you will just devote your life teaching, hindi ka yayaman sa pera, pero yayaman ka sa tao.
Siyempre, ang pinakamaganda po naman sa ating universidad ay yung talagang natuturuan po tayo kung paano maging mabuting tao.
Happy anniversary to Bridges! Here at Bridges, we build bridges of faith, bridges of hope, and bridges of love.
Hey, good afternoon everyone and welcome to another episode of Bridges. I'm Atty. Mariz Manalo and I will be your host for this another exciting and interesting episode of Bridges. Bridges is brought to you by the UST Alumni Association Incorporated and the UST Communications Bureau. And today is episode 10 of season 3 and is sponsored by the UST Law Alumni Incorporated. And today, we will be talking and discussing about labor laws. Hence, our title for this episode, Easing Labor Pains. But before we proceed, let me introduce my co-host for today. Well, he is not new in Bridges, as you regularly see him hosting here. And he is the president of Thomasian of La Union and the newly elected president of UST Alumni Association Incorporated. Friends, please welcome my friend, Attorney Dwight Ramos.
Hey, Attorney Mariz, good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to you and to all our listeners and watchers around the world. Nice to see you.
Congratulations, Attorney. Congratulations sa Attorney Dwight po, mga kapatid, ay ang aming bagong pangulo ngayon ng UST Alumni Association. Well, congratulations again from us.
Maraming salamat. And of course, looking forward to working with all of you, especially with you kasi isa ka sa PRO na very active being the PRO of the UST Law Alumni Foundation. At ito na nga, magkasama na tayo sa hosting and we hope to see more of you in Bridges, Attorney Mariz.
Yes, thank you, Attorney.
Yes, and last Tuesday, Bridges gave us another very, very enlightening episode, in line with still March, the Women's Month, and of course, we just celebrated the Women's Day, and we're talking about women empowerment. And today, mas marami na naman tayong pag-usapan dyan, especially that you, my co-host, is of course a woman. And our guest for today, also a very accomplished woman, as we will meet her later. And of course, today, as you said, very important topic, talking about labor pains. Nung umpisa, Attorney Mariz, akala ko ibang labor pain yung pag-uusapan natin. I was thinking of childbirth labor.
You know what, Attorney Dwight? Ibang klaseng labor to. Ibang klaseng labor pains to. It is about labor law. And labor law is pretty interesting topic. We see labor pains not only on the part of labor force or on the part of the manggagawa, but also on the part of the management or employers. Hindi yan pang manggagawa lang ang sakit. Meron din mga sakit na nararamdaman ang side ng mga employers or the management. And you see, when we speak of labor, we speak of labor as yung mga empleyado and the management. Lagi yan, di ba? Okay lang actually kung walang issues, like kung nagkakasundo sila. Pero pag meron ng tinatawag na illegal dismissal, pag meron ng tinatawag mga unfair labor practices, wala na. Diyan na papasok yung mga sakit, yung mga tinatawag mong labor pains. Di ba? Interesting?
Yes, and so naman, really yung operative word natin dyan is labor relations. Just like in any relationship, sa mag-asawa man yan, sa magkapatid, or most especially, of course, sa employer-employee relationship, kailangan talaga pinag-uusapan natin yung mga pains na yan. Di ba, Attorney Mariz?
Yes, Attorney. And
yes.
Remind mo naman sila, Attorney Dwight, pag yung mga like and share nila dyan dapat.
Of course, of course. So before we move on with the show, please, friends, please don't forget to like and share our show and subscribe to the UST Alumni Community YouTube channel.
Social. Meron na pong YouTube channel ang UST Thomasian Alumni Community. Well, as we mentioned, we have a very interesting topic to discuss today. It's about easing labor pains. So without further ado, we will now introduce our guest for today, Attorney.
Yes.
Actually, our guest today is an authority when it comes to labor law, right?
Yes.
Our guest completed her Bachelor of Arts in Economics and her Juris Doctor degree at the University of Santo Tomas. She began her legal career as an associate attorney in different law offices, but on April 2000, she started her service in the government as Clerk of Court 5 of the Regional Trial Court, Branch 84 of Quezon City, where she flourished for the next 12 years.
Wow.
On January 13, 2013, it was in 2013 when she was appointed as labor arbiter of the NRLC. Then, on September 27, 2017, President Duterte appointed her as commissioner of the NRLC. Well, if you are a commissioner of the NRLC, you have the same rank, salary, and privileges as that of an associate justice of the Court of Appeals. Big time, right? Well, currently, ladies and gentlemen, our guest today is now the chairperson of the NRLC Technical Committee. Well, this committee is actually tasked on preparing and submitting position papers on the proposed legislative measures pertaining to labor and employment. Ito po ay pinadadala nila sa Senado para sa mga bagong batas patungkol sa labor laws. Well, recipient din siya, Attorney Dwight, ng napakarami mga citations and recognitions mula po sa UST Law Alumni UST Alumni Association, sa UST Law Alumni Foundation Incorporated, sa IBP, ganyan po siya ka-big time. Ladies and gentlemen, mula po sa National Labor Relations Commission, please welcome Commissioner Mary Ann F. Plata-Daytia. Hello, Attorney. Ay, hello, Commissioner. I'm sorry.
Hi, Mariz.
Hi,
hello. Thank you, and good afternoon, Mariz. Good afternoon, Attorney Dwight, and of course, congratulations on your election as President of the UST Alumni Association Incorporated. Good afternoon also to our viewers.
Yes, thank you. Yes, Kamean, as we call you, good afternoon and welcome to the show. And yes, good afternoon, good morning to all our viewers worldwide. And I'm sure very excited din sila to hear and see our discussion today on labor pains. So, Attorney Mariz, of course, pare-pares tayo mga Thomasians, no? From the UST Civil Law, as we call it. Mm-hmm. So, and talking about Kamean, you know, you're very inspiring, no? And especially to us, sabi nga ni Attorney Mariz kanina, multi-awarded, no? Both from the USTAAI, the UST Law Alumni Foundation, and the IBP. But of course, talking about being a Thomasian, lagi namin tinatanong to sa lahat ng mga guests natin. Kamean, anong memorable moments mo naman sa UST? Both sa college, because you finished economics and then civil law. What makes you smile if you think about UST and your days as a student?
Well, I could say during my student days, more particularly na in law school, I would always love to think how I survived the daily grind in law school. Diba? Alam naman natin gaano kahirap ang resit. So there were really days or nights that I would really cry, and then surviving law school with friends. Yun ang one thing na hindi mo makakalimutan kasi even if, let's say, you are frustrated today, and then with friends around, you would be able to prove yourselves and then realize that you can be better every day. And siguro if there is one thing also that makes me smile, siguro yung being able to survive the late Dean Aligada. Yung resident na pamatay.
Palagay ko, yung generation natin, pare-parehas tayo dyan.
Yes.
When we talk of the late Dean Aligada, and of course, yung ating mga recitation, no, daily recitation, Attorney Mariz, no, we all went through that torture.
Yeah, but okay. Pero bago natin isalang si Commissioner sa mga katanungang pang-labor, gusto ko lang muna siyang tanungin ng isang mga pang-Miss Universe kind of question. Kasi napakaganda naman tong Commissioner na ito eh. Well, my question is this. Ito, since nasa Women's Month pa rin tayo, no? Commissioner, has UST been a life-giving force in your becoming a woman leader? And if yes, in what significant ways?
So, pang Miss Universe nga, no? Okay. Before I answer that, let us define what a woman leader is, di ba? So, a woman leader is a person who is able to understand the struggle of the people around her and be there for them and guide them. So, I could say that UST played a big role in making me really a woman leader. Kasi, you know naman, the UST culture is very, very welcoming. So because of this culture, I was able to connect with several people that made me realize and allowed me to be more understanding of where people can come from.
Yeah. And I think from your role today, no, napaka-importante yung learning na yan from UST.
Yes.
Okay. So, you are, I will start. So, if you have any questions, baka pwede naman yung mga nanonood sa atin, di ba, Attorney Dwight, pwede silang magbigay ng mga questions, especially that we're talking about labors ngayon. So, I will start the ball rolling now. A commissioner, you are a commissioner of the NRLC. Okay. So, para sa for the information of everyone, kindly educate us. Ano ba tong NLRC? Ano ba tong sangay na ito ng gobyerno? At para saan ba to?
Thank you, Mariz. Okay. Ang NLRC stands for National Labor Relations Commission. National Labor Relations Commission, it is a quasi-judicial agency that is tasked to resolve labor and management disputes involving both local and overseas workers through compulsory arbitration and alternative modes of dispute resolution. So it is an agency attached to the DOLE, and it is a quasi-agency attached to the DOLE.
So attached sa DOLE, hindi siya separate, ha?
Attached to the DOLE, Department of Labor and Employment.
Yes, and well, dahil yung kanyang title, no, labor nakalagay, ibig sabihin ba niyan na kumayan ay pang-labor lang talaga ang NLRC?
Oh, no. Attorney Dwight, that is really a misconception. Because as you can see, our mandate sa NLRC is that we be able to promote and maintain industrial peace by resolving labor and management disputes through fairest, quickest, and least economical way. So hindi talaga pwede na ang institution na yan ay puro labor lang. So alam mo naman na pwedeng mangyari kapag puro labor, syempre magagalit sa atin ang mga businessmen, ang mga employers. Kapag nagalit ang businessmen, employers, investors, they will not be encouraged to invest. So kailangan we should be able to really maintain industrial peace, and that is our mandate in the NLRC.
Pero Commissioner Mean, in the legal community, we have this saying that NLRC is pro-labor, which means para sa pabor ang batas ng yung labor laws natin, pabor niyan para sa mga manggagawa. At well, can you please comment on that at bakit nasabi yon?
Siguro nababanggit lang yan na pabor tayo sa manggagawa. Siyempre, number one, yung pangalan natin, National Labor Relations Commission. Pero, you know, in the resolution of our cases before us, we are not blinded by the fact na palagi na lang bang labor. Hindi. We evaluate evidence, we apply the laws, the jurisprudence, and it is only when there is equipoise or when the evidence of the labor and the evidence of the management stand on equal grounds that we are likely and we are encouraged to tilt the scales of justice in favor of labor. Of course, we would
in case of doubt, Commissioner, in case of doubt, sa labor tayo.
The term really is we tilt the scales of justice in favor of labor. Because, of course, the constitutional mandate that the state shall afford full protection to labor.
Yes, and of course, at the end of the day, we're all looking at industrial peace naman talaga dito.
Yes.
And the more we do that, then the more that we're promoting actually the industrial peace for our country.
Yes.
Yes, and at the end of the day, of course, healthy environment for all of us to be working together and being productive, di ba, sa ating buhay at sa ating country para tayo ay pare-parehas umunlad. So, yeah, that's I think a very clear explanation of the NLRC at yung misconceptions ay nabawasan hopefully with that discussion.
Yes.
Thank you, Commean.
Yeah, okay. I have another question, Commissioner. Can you please educate our viewers kung anong procedure? Halimbawa, ako isang manggagawa. Okay. Ako isang factory worker, for instance. Ako'y natanggal sa aking trabaho. Sana, ngayon, gusto ko i-demanda yung employer ko kasi basta na lang hindi ako pinapasok. Alam mo yun? So, saan ako pupunta? Pupunta ba ako sa DOLE? Nag-claim ako ng reinstatement? O pupunta ba ako sa NLRC sa inyo? Ito po ba yung dun sa Quezon City? At ano po ba yung dapat kong gawin?
Okay, Mariz, that's a very interesting question, no? So yung mga workers natin who would like to file a complaint or who would like to question yung kanilang mga illegal dismissal, they can visit the office of the NLRC or our labor arbitration regional arbitration branch dito sa Banawe. They can, at the first stage really of filing an action is the request for assistance. Diyan unang pumapasok yung aming actions, the filing of the request for assistance. In filing the request for assistance or our SENA proceedings, meron tayo diyang mga lawyers, volunteer lawyers from the Public Attorney's Office and the IBP of Quezon City who can assist them in evaluating whether they have really cause of action. So of course, we should not forget, no, the memorandum of agreement was entered into between the NRLC under the able leadership of our chairman, Gerardo Nograles, and the Public Attorney's Office and the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, Quezon City Chapter, under the auspices of Attorney Persida Acosta and Attorney Mike Atanante. So napaka-importante niyang request for assistance and mediation proceedings namin na yan.
So in other words, Commissioner, Attorney Dwight, halimbawa, natanggal ako sa hanap buhay at ako'y wala namang kakayanang kumuha ng abogado. Pwede akong pumunta sa Banawe dito sa NLRC at doon may mag-a-assist sa akin. We just want, para klaro tayo sa mga nanonood sa atin.
Yes, Attorney Mariz.
Okay.
Meron tayong mga volunteer lawyers to assist our complainants. Alam mo, napakalaking bagay nito sa atin, napakalaking bagay ang tulong ng ating Public Attorney's Office and IBP because naiiwasan natin ang pagkakaroon ng mga baseless claims. Nagiging mas informed ang ating mga complainants to really decide meron bang merit yung cases nila na nababawasan din ng fixers kasi hindi na sila basta-basta pwedeng magkaso dahil sa attorney's office pa lang dito sa ating PAW at saka sa IBP, sasabihan na talaga sila na sige, meron kang this is an actionable wrong or there is illegal dismissal. Di ba mas maganda yon? Mas magiging makahulugan. Hindi tayo nagsasayang ng oras, hindi rin tayo nagsasayang ng resources natin.
Yes, and so, Commean, I think we really thank these volunteer lawyers then
Yes.
for the role that they are playing in terms of helping NLRC in its mandate, and of course yung stakeholders na din, especially labor, and ultimately sabi mo nga it also benefits the employers
Yes.
kasi yung mga baseless claims nagaguide yung ating mga manggagawa. Kanina
Yes.
merong pinapakita yung single entry approach. Kasama yon sa proceedings ninyo, di ba? Pagka sa labor, yan?
Yes. Yan ay rin, ang single entry approach, diyan ang yung pag-request nila for assistance. Ang single entry approach, basically conciliation, mediation proceedings yan. Meron tayong mga conciliator, mediator, who are really skilled and trained to handle mediation proceedings. Kaya pagka sa SENA, we really endeavor to encourage the parties to enter into a settlement so that it would no longer ripen into a really labor case. Mas matipid, mas mabilis.
So sa SENA pa lang, ganito yan, di ba, Commissioner? Ako'y manggagawa. So bago ko makarating sa arbiter, may SENA muna.
Yes, yes.
Ito yung pinagtatagpo o nagkakaroon ng,
Yes.
ng conference, yung manggagawa, tsaka yung parte ng management.
Yes,
So,
Attorney
yun na-
Mariz.
Okay. And sabi mo nga, dito pa lang pwede nang matapos kasi pwede na sila mag-compromise, correct?
Yes, Attorney Mariz, and based on our statistics, the number of cases that are resolved in the SENA, almost 97 to 98% of those who go to SENA, nare-resolve na namin sa SENA proceedings pa lang. Napakalaking bagay yan
Okay.
para magpabilis.
Sino yung nagpe-preside dito sa SENA? Hindi pa itong mga arbiters
Hindi pa
mediator.
yan. Hindi pa sila arbiters. Those are our skilled and trained mediators. Employees din sila ng NLRC pero nag-training sila, in-equip namin sila with really the training and the skills para sa ganon, they would be able to handle the SENA proceedings.
Yes, and based on the statistics you have cited, mukhang effective talaga ito.
Effective siya talaga. Yes.
And the slide before this, merong konting listahan. Maybe if we can show yung slide before this because it was showing some kind of a list. Maybe pwede ba natin yan. Ito naman, unfair labor practice, illegal dismissal. These are all the things they can go to NLRC with.
Yes, yes. Yung mga bagay na yan ang mga pwede naming take cognizance as a labor court. Yan yung mga unfair labor practice, termination disputes, money claims. Among all the cases there, ang talagang bulk ng cases namin, termination disputes. Especially with the pandemic, napakarami namin ngayon. Kasi sa termination disputes can be yan illegal dismissal or kaya constructive dismissal or dismissal due to a just cause or authorized cause. Mas marami ang bulk namin ngayon yung mga tinamaan ng pandemic. Yung mga tinamaan ng redundancy, retrenchment. Oo. So, yan ang jurisdiction ng NLRC, Attorney Dwight.
Commissioner Mean, okay.
Yes.
Halimbawa, natapos na kayo sa SENA, pero ayoko magpa-settle. Ako yung empleyado. Ayoko nung yung offer ng management, mababa yan. Gusto kong reinstatement, ayaw naman ako i-reinstate. So, ano mangyayari? So, saan mo kami ibabato ngayon?
Well, when parties fail to agree during the conciliation proceedings, the case will now be raffled and assigned to a labor arbiter. So, kasi nga, ang ating topic is easing labor pains, sasabihin ko, what are the reforms that we have introduced para sa ganon maging mabilis ang proceedings ng labor cases. So, I think before I go to that, panoodin muna natin yung video natin, Attorney Dwight, kung gaano kabilis ang kaso ngayon, ang pagresolba ng kaso sa NLRC.
Sabi nila, matagal ang kaso sa NRLC.
Mabilis ang usad ng kaso sa NRLC. Sa katunayan, mula Enero hanggang Setyembre ng taong kasalukuyan, ang regional arbitration branches ay nakapagresolba ng kabuuang 22,864 na kaso. habang ang komisyon ay nakapagtala ng 7,408 na appeals na naresolba. Sa RABS, 8,401 ang mga kasong naresolba sa loob lamang ng 3 buwan mula nang ma-file ang mga ito. 6,240 na appeal cases naman ang naresolba ng komisyon sa loob ng 3 buwan mula nang matanggap ang apela. Alam niyo ba, noong wala pang pandemya ay hindi bumababa ng 30,000 na kaso ang nadidispose ng NLRC kada taon.
Ito ang kabuuang datos ng mga kasong naresolba ng NRLC sa mga nagdaang taon. September 2015, kinilala ng DOLE ang NRLC dahil nakapagtala ito ng 97% sa pagresolba ng mga kaso alinsunod sa Project Speed, bago matapos ang taong 2015 na itaas pa ang pagresolba ng kaso sa 99%. Taong 2018, pinagkalooban din ng NLRC sa pangunguna ni former Secretary Silvestre Rebello III ng natatanging pagkilala para sa Project Speed. Sa taong iyon, nagtala ng 98.6% sa pagresolba ng mga kaso. Mula 2015, ang komisyon ay nagtala ng hindi bababa sa 90% taon-taon sa Project Speed. Narito ang mga datos mula sa DOLE na pinatunayan ng NCMP, ang project manager ng Project Speed.
Yun. I think
napakaganda, di ba, Attorney Dwight and Attorney Mariz? Nakakatuwa. Yes. Nakakatuwang ipakita on the part of NLRC kung gaano kaganda na, kung gaano kagaling ang pamumuno ng aming chairman na si Chairman Gerardo Nograles.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
And numbers don't lie because yung mga pinakita naman doon sa video are really hard facts, hard data, no? On the accomplishments. And you were saying these are related to the reforms.
Yes, Attorney Dwight. So those are results of the reforms that were introduced by our chairman. Kasi ngayon, number 1, sabi nga ni Mariz, the case, so we will now proceed with the discussion on how a labor case, yung labor proceedings natin. So the labor case will now go to the labor arbiter. Dati, ang ating service of summons isang beses lang, o isang way lang, that is only by personal service of the sheriff, by the sheriff. Ngayon, we already have 3 modes of serving the summons upon the respondent. Number 1 is the personal service of the sheriff or the bailiff. Number 2, by registered mail. And number 3, through our accredited or authorized private courier. So ano ba ang relevance nitong 3 na ang pwedeng mag-serve ng summons? Before kasi, kapag isa lang, ang laging excuse ay, I'm sorry, hindi pa na-serve ang summons, so wala pa tayong jurisdiction sa respondent. Ngayon, kahit walang masyadong available na bailiff, we can proceed with the service of summons by registered mail and by private courier. Kapag na-serve na yung summons, alam naman natin that the proceedings can already start. Kasi may jurisdiction na nga tayo over the person of the respondent.
Meron ba kayong, Commissioner, meron ba kayong online? Kasi uso na ngayon ng online eh. Meron ba kayong online filing or online asking for request for assistance?
We thank you, Mariz, for asking me about that. We missed that, no? Kasi yung mga online filing of request for assistance, doon pa yan sa part ng ating SENA, sa SENA natin yan, sa single entry approach. Meron tayong request for assistance online filing. So malaking tulong din yan. That is also one of the reforms that we have implemented.
Okay, pero mamaya you have to tell our viewers kung paano sila mag-go-online. Saan ba sila pupunta? Sa www.nlrc.com?
Yeah. I undertake to do that. I can give you, actually, I already have here the website, or I can give you it later.
It's later. Okay. Attorney Dwight.
Yeah, and talking again about these reforms, tulad ng online na yan, was it only during the pandemic na naumpisan yung online? Or was it a product of that in response to the pandemic?
Really, I could say that it is one of the measures that we implemented dahil nga ng pandemic. Kasi at that time, syempre hindi pwedeng pumunta sila doon. So one of the measures and one of the actions that we took, syempre we have to make it accessible to our stakeholders. We have to really make it accessible to them.
And since naumpisan na, tuloy-tuloy yan. Even after the pandemic.
Hindi na namin, after having realized that it has helped our stakeholders, hindi na namin binago. Dahil gusto nga namin talaga to address and to be there for our stakeholders.
Okay, speaking of pandemic, di ba? During the pandemic, maraming natanggal sa trabaho. How did the NRLC handle this kind of situation, considering na hindi to normal eh? Hindi lang ito yung typical na illegal dismissal, hindi lang ito yung typical na return, at saka maraming affected. Hindi lang particular na sector ng management, kundi almost lahat apektado. Paano nyo ito hinandle?
Attorney Mariz, same proceedings yan. They will have to go through the SENA. Kasi we really endeavor to encourage them to conciliate or to enter into a settlement. Kasi syempre, we already have in mind na extraordinary circumstances talaga ang pandemic.
Correct.
Extraordinary circumstance talaga yan that affected a lot of people, affected a lot of businesses. We are cognizant of that. Alam namin yan, batid nating lahat yan. So mas maganda, mas madalas, ini-encourage namin sila na baka pwede namang mag-usap kayo. Kasi nasaktan din naman talaga ang employer, nasaktan din naman ang labor. So nandito naman kami to resolve the dispute. And of course, with the end in view of maintaining and promoting our industrial peace.
Yan. And Attorney Mariz, before we move further, meron tayong mga viewers saying hi to Dr. Nanding Pedrosa. Thank you very much for joining us today, and of course our regular viewers dito sa Bridges program natin.
Well, hello. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat at sa mga viewers namin. Kung meron po kayong mga katanungan para sa ating guest na patungkol sa labor laws at pwede pong i-type, I think, i-type dyan at ibabato sa amin yan later on para sagutin ng ating guest, si Commissioner Attorney Dwight.
Yes, and sabi ni Commissioner Mian kanina, no more excuses, due to the non-availability of bailiffs to serve summons. These are really things that they have done, and we're very glad. We're very thankful to NLRC for having all these reforms and helping us be able to do more in terms of, kasi ang isang iniisip ng iba, walang pupunta ng labor o meron pala, pwede tayong sumangguni dito at mabilis din ang action. Now, just in case sa mandatory conciliation, Komean, kung hindi talaga successful ito, anong mangyayari?
Ayan, kung hindi talaga successful ang mandatory conciliation, the labor arbiter will already direct the parties to file their position paper and reply. So, kapag ka nag-file na sila, it is now for the labor arbiter to render his decision.
Gaano katagal ang decision making, Commissioner?
Yan, I'm about to go to that. Ito, mga reforms na naman, syempre, ang ating topic ay easing labor pains. Ito na naman ang mga reforms na pinasunod ng ating chairman para mapabilis ang pagresolba ng ating kaso. Number 1, meron kaming tinatawag natin na first in, first out. So yung mga kaso na unang na-file, yun din ang mga unang kaso na ating papalabasin. Number 2, our labor arbiters and also as commissioners, we have really quota. Ang quota namin sa labor arbiters, they should render at least, I think 15 decisions in a month and 12 decisions in a month or 15 settlements. Sa amin naman, it is more of within the cycle period. Kailangan ma-resolve namin ang kaso within 9 months or within 6 months. Within 6 months from the time the case is referred to us. Pero with respect to the labor arbiter, they should be able to render their decision within 9 months from the time that the case is referred to them. Other than that, makikita mo monitored ang kaso. Kaya nga sabi ka na, Nagtatagal ba ang kaso sa NLRC? Hindi. Kasi we are really monitored. We have this quota system. We have this cycle na ino-observe talaga namin. Kapag lumampas ka dito sa cycle na to, that is already considered na backlog mo na yan.
Okay, pagkatapos sa arbiter, commissioner, halimbawa natalo ang management. Si Attorney Dwight, siya sa management, ako sa labor. Paano natalo siya, si Attorney Dwight? Saan siya pupunta?
Of course, ang any aggrieved party can file an appeal with the NLRC. I must emphasize ito, marami pa rin nagkakamali dito. Do not file a motion for reconsideration with the labor arbiter's decision. Hindi pwede yan. Kailangan from the labor arbiter's decision, file an appeal within 10 days from the time that you have received a copy of the labor arbiter's decision. So yan ang ating yan. Nakikita nyo sa ating monitor, you are given only 10 days within which to elevate your appeal to the NLRC. Sa NLRC, we render the decision within the 6-month period. And then, if you are not satisfied, you go to the Court of Appeals by way of Rule 65. If still, again, not satisfied, you can elevate it to the Supreme Court. But in the NLRC, there is a motion for reconsideration.
Okay, question, Commissioner. Halimbawa, nagkaroon ng resolution yung sa court of, dyan sa NLRC. Ako nga yung sa lawyer, ako yung dun sa empleyado, si Attorney Dwight yung dun sa management. Paano kung merong, tapos nag-appeal pa rin si Attorney Dwight sa Court of Appeals, pero meron akong reinstatement. Tsaka may money claims ako na pinagbigyan ninyo. Ibig sabihin ba na may hintayin ko pang matapos yung decision ng Court of Appeals saka ng Supreme Court? Ang tagal naman ata nun.
Well, that is a very interesting question, Attorney Mariz. Kasi when there is a reinstatement aspect of the decision of the labor arbiter, that is immediately executory. Kahit may appeal, even pending appeal, kahit mag-appeal siya sa NLRC, immediately executory yan. With respect naman to the monetary awards, syempre, we have to wait for the decision to become final and executory. Yung mga money awards. Yan.
Yes. And sa reinstatement na yan, that rule, I think, command is for good measure. May reason talaga kung bakit ganyan yan. And it's really to protect the manggagawa, the laborer. And also, kasi kailangan niya magtrabaho, di ba?
Yes,
Kailangan niya magtrabaho.
Paano kung ako yung...
Yes, Attorney Mariz?
Alam mo, medyo unstable po yung aking internet sa mga viewers namin. Pasensya po kayo. I don't know what's going on with the internet here. Anyways, my question is, meron, tawag dito, immediate...
Attorney Dwight.
Medyo...
Sorry nga yung reinstatement, di ba? Paano ko ako nang gagawin ko? Kung ayaw ko sa reinstatement.
Nakuha ko yung tanong niya, Attorney Dwight.
I think, yes.
Okay, if the employer does not want to reinstate the employee, ang tawag kasi dyan actual reinstatement. Pag ayaw niya, payroll reinstatement. Basta kailangan ma-reinstate ang employee.
Yes, and so that really boils down the point na syempre ayaw naman nating gutumin yung ating manggagawa just because of the dispute.
Yes. And the fact that there is a finding of illegal dismissal, syempre kahit papano, kailangan mabigay na rin sa kanila yon, lalo na ang reinstatement.
Yes. Diba? And just going back a bit doon sa process cycle system and quota system. Ito yung data that you gathered for what you call labor justice, di ba?
Yes.
Napakaganda rin ng numbers diyan. Pagdating diyan. I think you said almost 97%.
Yes, I would like to say na sa SENA namin, based on our statistics prepared by the Research Information Publication Division or RIPD ng NLRC, it shows that 97% sa SENA are settled. In the labor arbiters naman, around 98 to 99. And sa commission, the same thing, 98 to 99%. We are able to dispose those cases within the time given to us.
Yes. So congratulations, Comean, and to the NLRC, and of course, congratulations for all the reforms that you've been doing to ease talaga labor pains. I guess that's a very,
Yes.
very good undertaking. No? How to ease the labor pains that we're talking about.
Malaking bagay na ang chairman namin, si Chairman Gerardo Nograles, is very, he really implemented several measures para sa ganon, mapabilis ang lahat sa NLRC, mapaganda lalo ang NLRC.
So I have another question to Commissioner Man. Pasensya na, nagkakaroon ng problem ako ng technically. Anyways, let's go to execution. Kasi kanina nga minention mo, pwedeng reinstatement, tapos kaya lang yung money claims, we have to wait. So my question is, halimbawa meron akong money judgment na makaka-receive ako ng mga a million. Diba? Paano yun? Paano gagawin ko? Hindi ko alam kung pupunta ba ako sa lawyer ko o magpa-file pa ba ako ng motion for execution. Can you educate us on this, Commissioner?
Okay. Ito number one. First thing, before you execute a judgment, it has to be final and executory. Meaning, either hindi sila nag-appeal or nag-final and executory na because of the lapse of the period nung sa commission. So once a decision has become final and executory, kailangan na yung pag-issue natin ng writ of execution. Yung writ of execution na yan, the labor arbiter need not wait for the prevailing party to file a motion for the issuance of writ of execution. Ano na yan motu proprio pwede niyang gawin yan or on his own kasi ministerial na yan. Once a decision is final and executory, it becomes the ministerial function of the labor arbiter to issue the corresponding writ of execution.
Yes. May video ba tayo dyan?
Yeah, kasi...
Yes, may video tayo dyan. Let us see our video.
Ayan pala, para mas maganda.
Sabi nila, hindi raw umuusad ang execution.
Hindi totoo yan. Pagkatanggap ng writ of execution, ang sheriff ay may susundin ng mga hakbang upang maibigay sa complainant ang award. Una sa lahat, kailangan nilang ihain o ipadala ang writ of execution sa respondent sa loob ng 3 araw mula na matanggap ito sa pamamagitan ng personal service, mail o courier service. Titingnan ngayon ng sheriff kung merong cash bond. Kung meron, ito ay maaaring mabilis i-release sa complainant kapag ang labor arbiter ay naglabas ng order of release. Kung walang cash bond, magpapadala ng notices of garnishment ang sheriff sa mga bangko kung saan may account ang respondent. Ang mga ito ay papadala ng sabay-sabay. Kung walang bank deposits, titingnan ng sheriff kung may surety bond. Kung walang surety bond o kung meron man pero hindi sapat para bayaran ang napanalo ng award, maaari na pumunta ang sheriff sa kumpanya ng respondent o sa LTO para tingnan kung meron siyang ibang ari-arian o mga sasakyan na pwedeng kuhain. Kung walang mga personal na ari-arian o hindi sapat ang mga nalikom na pera para mabayaran ang award matapos mabenta ang mga ito sa public auction, pupunta na ang sheriff sa assessor's office o register of deeds para maganap ng mga real properties ng respondent. Kung wala ring real properties at hindi pa rin nababayaran na napanalo ng award, pupunta muli ang sheriff sa kumpanya upang maghanap ng iba pang ari-arian ng respondent. Kaya hindi totoo na hindi umuusad ng execution. Hindi rin totoo na walang makukuhang award dahil walang bond. Sa katunayan, ang respondent o employer ay kailangan mag-post ng bond na may katumbas na halaga ng monetary award para siya ay makapag-apila. Kung ang complainant naman ang nag-apila, walang bond na kakailanganin. Habang hinihintay matapos ng execution, ang complainant ay pinapayuhan na may pag-ugnayan sa office ng labor arbiter at sheriff upang sila ay mabigyan ng updates tungkol sa kanilang kaso.
Ayan. And
I think, diba?
Yes. And before the video
hindi magpa-prosper yung appeal, di ba? Hindi magpa-prosper ang appeal kung walang bond.
Yes. Ang respondent ang respondent.
Yeah, yung management, yung employer.
Only if there is a money judgment.
Okay.
If there is a money judgment, there has to be a bond corresponding to the amount of the money judgment. Attorney Dwight, I would like to mention yung mga reforms naman natin sa execution.
Sige nga.
Para malaman nyo kung bakit naging mabilis. Kung bakit
Yes, yes.
mabilis ang paglabas natin ng writ of execution. Number one nga, sinabi ko na that the labor arbiter does not have to wait for the motion from the prevailing party for the issuance of the writ of execution. Number two, kapag na-issue na to ng labor arbiter, ibibigay niya na sa sheriff, the sheriff has to, within the 3-day period, he has to serve simultaneously. Talagang take note, simultaneously upon the respondent, yung kanyang writ of execution and the notice of garnishment naman doon sa bank na kilala mong bangko ng respondent. So hindi na ngayon na nauuna yung respondent, na ang nangyayari niyan, kasi pag naunang respondent, ang mangyayari niyan, minsan wala na yung account. Of course, we are not saying kaya lang posible siyang mangyari. Posible lang. We are not saying na posible siyang mangyari. So ngayon, ang tawag namin dito ay shotgun approach. Talagang kung ano yung mga known banks ng respondent, sabay-sabayan padadalahan. Para sa ganun, talaga namang ma-realize na ng employee kung ano naman talaga yung kanyang judgment award. And other than that, kung talagang hopeless na para sa employee na makarecover, binibigyan namin siya ng pagkakataong mag-file ng motion to check on the property and income of the respondent. Yan ang mga measures natin to ease labor pains.
That's very good. Pero meron akong question, Commissioner. Tama yan on the part of the employees, di ba? O magkakaroon ng garnishment, tapos makukuha na yung award nila. Pero question, nag-appeal itong management sa Court of Appeals. Okay? Pag-appeal niya sa Court of Appeals, panalo siya. Nag-appeal yung kabila. Paano yun? Nag-garnish na yung amount niya. Di kawawan. Anong pwedeng gawin ng management niyan? Wala na yung pera niya. Nakuha na ng employee. Ng manggagawa.
Don't worry. Meron silang remedy. They can file a motion for restitution. Yeah. There is
makakakuha ba? Paano ka makakakuha sa manggagawa kung wala nang
ma-arrest? Ito sinasabi natin, no? Basta meron silang remedy to file a motion for restitution, pero on that or not, it can be reinstituted. Hindi na natin kayang sagutin yan, pero iyan ang sinasabi ng aming batas. Kapag sakali nagkaroon ng pagbaligtad or na-reverse ang decision ng labor arbiter o decision ng NLRC, tapos nakapag-release na ng peras by way of execution, then the respondent can always file a motion for restitution. That's the
remedy available to them. And probably, since NLRC is into really these reforms, it's probably something that they can also think about on how also to assist the employer pagdating dyan. Kasi sabi nga ni Komean, they're aware of the things that need to be done, mga kailangan i-reforma. I think hindi naman perfect pa, and I'm sure you're looking for a lot more ways on how really to balance this off in the name of industrial peace.
Yes, Attorney Dwight and yes, Mariz. That is our mandate to promote and maintain industrial peace.
Kasi baka po pwedeng, di ba? Baka po pwedeng kung wala nang ma-restitute, wala na kaming makuha dun sa employees, pumunta na lang kami sa government. Through tax credit lang naman. Not necessarily, di ba? Kasama to sana sa committee nyo, Commissioner. Maybe this can be a new legislation na kawawa naman yung mga employers na naibigay na nila yung wala na nakuha na yung bond, million din yun. Paano sila babalik kung nanalo naman sila? Baka, syempre, wala ka naman kami makukuha dun sa mga manggagawa. Kawawa rin naman yun. Diba? Alangan na maibigay pa niya yung bahay niya na binili or what? So, baka pwede makakuha ng tax credit. Well, this is a new thing na pwedeng i-consider in the future.
Pwede.
Yes. And yes, and I think one of the reforms also, Komean, is that mabilis din ang resolution ng NLRC, no? On the appealed cases. Meron ding mandate kayo dyan?
Yes. Yes, Attorney Dwight, as I mentioned a while ago, here in the commission, we are given only 6 months. 6 months within which to resolve, also following the cycle, yun na yung cycle namin. And ano kasi kami, we have 8 divisions in Luzon, 1 division in Visayas, and another in Mindanao. But we are really pushing for the additional divisions para ma-address talaga namin yung influx of cases.
Yes. And I think for those who are still waiting for it, nakita ko na kanina at the end of the video that we just showed, nandun yung website ng NLRC that you can actually visit. Yeah. So, yeah, Attorney Mariz, I think we have covered a lot of ground in terms of these labor pains and how to ease it. And we are very glad, we're very happy that NLRC is doing something about all of this. Hindi sila tumitigil, no? Even during the pandemic, in having all these reforms. Napakadami, no? Hindi ko na mabilang yung nabanggit na reforms ni Comean. But I think at the end of the day, the data will show that these are effective. And yung pagkuha ng data na yan, you were talking about a certain office. Ito is also a new office ba yan sa inyo?
No.
To track
That's our
performance?
Research Information Publication Division, RIPD. Yan, sila ang responsible for all the data that we need, respecting like cases that are raffled to us, cases that are resolved, cases that remain unresolved. Talagang nakatrack yan sa amin.
Yes, and that means tracking it will also show the kind of performance that you are doing.
Thank you naman.
Yeah, meron akong may question yung isa sa mga viewers natin. Ang tinatanong nila is, Commissioner, paano kung may settlement? Nag-settle yung partido, pero hindi naman nila na-submit yung settlement nila dun sa arbiter. Tapos nagkaroon ng desisyon na, kasi hindi nga natanggap ng arbiter, paano gagawin nila?
Okay. Ganito yan. We must not forget that a compromise agreement is the law between the parties, diba? So if there is already settlement between them, that is the law between them, provided it is not contrary to law, it is not contrary to public policy, morals. Kami, when we approve yung mga compromise agreement na yan, tinitingnan namin on whether or not yun bang monetary judgment award is at least more than half. So kung hindi natanggap yan ng labor arbiter, di ba, hindi niya natanggap at pumunta ulit si complainant at sinabi niya na oy, gusto kong mag-execute ng decision sa akin, syempre pupunta si respondent, he will show yung compromise agreement nila which they failed to publish or to furnish the labor arbiter. Ang labor arbiter, hindi naman basta-basta yan magsasabi na bayaran mo siya. Titingnan namin yung belatedly submitted na compromise agreement. And if it can be shown that more than 50% naman, fair naman yung kanilang pinag-usapan and they voluntarily signed and there is no showing of coercion, then we will approve the compromise agreement. Kasi lalabas ang compromise agreement. Kasi each one has a copy. So kahit na hindi nila na-submit, may pagkakataong isubmit anytime. And tandaan natin, ang compromise agreement can be done at any stage of the proceedings.
And,
anytime.
Because of course, it's still conciliatory. And looking for, kung magkasundo nga naman, di ba, why not?
Kahit may decision na. Question, paano kung may decision na? Pwede pa rin ba silang mag-settle?
Yes. Actually, pwedeng mag-settle even if there is a final and executory decision. Walang hadlang sa settlement. Kasi sabi nga natin, parties naman will enter in fair deals, di ba? Meron silang mga terms, pag-uusapan nila yan, and that settlement becomes the law between them. And we honor that.
Yes, and at the end of the day, pagdating kasi dyan tinatawag nating labor relations. It's the relationship. And kung ma-repair yung relationship by whatever means, then why not? Basta nagkasundo. Kumayan, di ba?
Certainly, Attorney Dwight. Certainly.
Yes. And I think for those who may still have questions after the show, of course, we are running out of time. they can write to NLRC through legal.nlrc. Ayan. Komean, ano itong pinapakita? Yes?
Yeah, para sa mga nais humingi ng update sa inyong kaso, maaari po kayong mag-email sa fb.nlrcmain@gmail.com. At kung meron naman po kayong gustong itanong, meron po tayong legal.nlrc@gmail.com. Meron po tayo diyang mga abogado na pwedeng sumagot with respect to the NLRC Rules of Procedure. Lahat po yan, we make it accessible to our stakeholders.
Yeah.
And it's very good.
Correct. And hindi nyo kailangang lumayo. Nandyan ang NLRC to all its stakeholders, both employer and employee. They are open to serve you, no, Komean.
Yes.
Yes, and Attorney Mariz.
Okay.
Labor pains pa ba? Wala na.
Yeah, actually, this has been a very interesting and engaging conversation with you, Commissioner. And I'm pretty sure na lahat ng mga viewers natin ay maraming natutunan patungkol dito sa procedure sa labor. Kasi even the lawyers na nanonood, baka mamaya hindi na nila alam na may ganito na palang procedure, di ba? And maraming salamat sa inyo, Commissioner Mean.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Attorney Dwight. Thank you, Mariz. Thank you to the UST Alumni Association, Inc.
But of course, before we let you go, alam mo naman, how do you give life to your Thomasian values of commitment, compassion, and competence dyan sa work mo sa NLRC, Komean?
Wow. Giving life to number one is
commitment.
Well, I commit to render fair and just labor justice. Compassion, I shall be sensitive and compassionate to the welfare and concerns of our stakeholders.
And then competence, yes.
Competence, I keep myself abreast with recent jurisprudence, not only in labor laws, but also in remedial law and other laws that may be applicable in the resolution of labor cases.
That's very good. Thank you, Commissioner Mean.
Thank you.
And that makes us proud Thomasians, di ba, Attorney Mariz? Because sabi nga natin, wherever we go, whatever we do, we always carry yung three C's na yan. And it's very good to have Commissioner Mein this afternoon and talking about easing labor pains. And nung una talaga, Attorney Mariz, ibang labor yun naiisip ko, ibang pain. But now that we've come to talk about the labor relations and yung sabi ni Komean kanina is labor justice. And how I think when NLRC is able to deliver the labor justice, both to the employer and to the employee, I think mawawala yung labor pains. Di ba, Attorney Mariz? What do you think?
Yeah, correct. Actually, kung ganyan ang pagkaka-explain ng batas patungkol sa labor at procedure, nawawala yung sakit. Thank you, Commissioner.
At kanina, Komean, itong ating host na si Attorney Mariz, mukhang labor practitioner, ano? Very passionate on certain questions.
Pero parang alam mo kung saan ang no? Kung saan nakatilt.
Saan ang inclination.
Yes. Para bang may hugot, Komean.
Yeah. Pero napatunayan natin na wala ka ng hugot pagdating sa labor pains. Dahil we have implemented measures, actions, and everything to ease your labor pains.
That's right. And NLRC is there for you. Ibig sabihin, meron po tayong avenue, meron kayong pupuntahan, meron kayong tatakbuhan para matulungan kayo sa inyong labor pains.
Salamat.
Ayan. So, Attorney Mariz,
okay,
I think we're almost
Attorney Dwight, meron ka pang announcement. Yung ating, para sa pharmacy. Ano ba tong announcement mo?
Oo, may mga announcements pa tayo. Meron kasing upcoming, di ba? Examination for the pharmacy licensure exams. So, good luck. Good luck sa kanilang lahat. And Of course, alam niyo naman, when it comes to UST, yan ang isa sa ating mga banner departments, yung ating pharmacy. So good luck sa ating mga kukuha ng exam. Friends, again, please don't forget to like and share our show and subscribe to our UST Thomasian Alumni Community YouTube channel. And here at Bridges, we build bridges of people, bridges of knowledge, and new learnings.
Okay, so on behalf of the UST Law Alumni Foundation, Inc., through our President, Justice Ronald Moreno, we would like to thank the USTAAI academics, especially Team Bridges, for giving us the opportunity to sponsor this episode of Bridges. And again, here at Bridges, we build bridges of people, bridges of knowledge, and new beginnings.
Yes, and once again, blessing prayers to all those taking the pharmacy licensure examination on April 10 and 11, 2023. And once again, friends, thank you for tuning in. Join us again next Tuesday for another episode of Bridges entitled Salina, Lakbay, Pananampalataya, or what we say, Synodality, sa Quaresma, with no less than Monsignor Francisco P. Monje, the parish priest and Episcopal Vicar of the Vicariate of Irusin, Sorsogon. So once again, friends, to all our listeners worldwide and viewers worldwide, to all the Thomasians, enjoy the rest of the evening. Mabuhay po tayong lahat.